Friday, September 28th, the day after the Kavanaugh testimony. I know that everyone in these United States is focused on the Federal Reserve and the technicalities involving interest rates and so on, but let me distract you just for a moment. And also on a political front, while all this other stuff has been going on this week, two branches of government have behaved in really superb fashion. And it's worth thinking about them a little bit. And also collecting some evidence from overseas about other attempts at self-government that haven't gone very well. The Fed this week raised the cost of money by another quarter point. It's now 2.25. The prime rate mechanically goes 3 points higher to 5.25. Mortgage rates actually went down a little. Long-term rates did not rise. A part of the reason that they did not rise, Italy's new government last night, exhausted by austerity demanded by the German-led Euro Union. The new Italian government voted a budget with a huge new deficit and new spending. They've had enough. Austerity is no longer politically supportable. And Italy is too big to fail, and it's also too big to bully. And so the Italian stock market right now has given up about 4% of its value overnight. Italian bond yields are now over 3%. That's where ours are, but that's payable in euros. And for comparison, German bond yields are now 0.47. So Italy's bonds cost its government 6 times as much money as German bonds. That kind of thing going on in Europe while everybody is focused on something else, especially here. A lot of money has run to American bonds for safety, which has pushed down our interest rates. Here, hoping that we continue to dodge Fed bullets, not a good idea. One of them's going to get us. But the two branches of government here, yesterday, the Securities and Exchange Commission informed Elon Musk that no, sir, no matter how popular and casual Twitter may be today, no CEO of a publicly traded corporation may say to the public that I have the money to take this thing public, to take this thing private, buy it back from stockholders at a premium price, and I've got the money. You can't say that if it's not true. And so the SEC late yesterday afternoon gave orders that Mr. Musk will no longer be an officer or director of any publicly traded corporation, including his own. He'll fight for a while, but he's going to lose. That's a great thing. That's the SEC doing its job. Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, hit so many balls out of the park that even here at pennant races on, it's just amazing to watch these things leave the stadium. Powell is painfully direct. The Fed after each meeting issues a statement, which gradually over the last 30 years turned into this bloated, wordy thing. And Powell has cut it more than in half and chopped another sentence out of it on Wednesday. And the sentence was that the stance of the Federal Reserve is still accommodative. Earlier people thought if that sentence went, it would be a sign that the Fed was nearly done. That's not it. Powell said, the current overnight cost of money is still accommodative, but our policy is no longer. Fed's going to keep on going. Fed's going to keep going until the economy slows down. That's all there is to it. It's risky, but it's riskier for the Fed to continue to try to draw it to an inside straight. That an economy can stay this hot for this long without risk of inflation, that's a bad bet. Continuing with Powell, Fed chairman, because of the Fed's delicate position as not being mentioned in our Constitution and being created by Congress, and Congress and the White House often wondering whether the Fed is a good idea. The Fed is very careful around politics, and especially around criticizing Congress or the White House. And in my reasonably long lifetime, never has the Fed chairman had something political to say 5 weeks before an election. Doesn't bother Powell. Powell laid into it. He laid into it on two grounds. The first one was to say that if these tariffs last long, they could do great damage to the American economy. And went on to say that the Fed is getting an earful from businesses all across the country of the damage being done by the tariffs. Okie dokie. And he then went on to say that the fiscal situation of the United States, owing so much money, continuing to borrow so much money, continuing to spend more than we receive in taxes, was because of the, and I quote, uniquely expensive U.S. system of healthcare delivery. He didn't say underfunded, as in not enough tax revenue, nor did he say too expansive, as in we're trying to cover too many people, or with coverage that's too good. He said uniquely expensive, as in costing roughly twice as much as healthcare in any peer nation with the same results here, and said that this uniquely expensive American system of healthcare delivery is the primary cause of our fiscal difficulties. It's a good day. It's a really good day. Thank you, sir. If you have doubt about us and our government, it's okay to spend some time this weekend thinking about the things that work. Good weekend.